In the world of professional pool, you have masters of the game, and then you have Efren Reyes. He saw the table differently, like it was a multi-dimensional puzzle that only he had the key to solve. Where other players saw dead ends, he saw open doors. He built a legendary career on making the impossible look easy. But these next 7 shots, they're on a whole other level. You're about to see 7 moments that don't just bend the laws of physics, they seem to laugh at them. We're going to break down each one to show you exactly why Efren the Magician Reyes wasn't just another great player. He was a flat-out genius. Shot number 7, the after-collision massé. Kicking off our list is a shot that shows how Efren could flip from defense to offense with a single mind-bending stroke. In a game of straight pool, the cue ball is stuck tight to the object ball, the 14. But Efren isn't any other pro. Instead of a simple safety, Reyes lifts his cue to an almost vertical angle. He strikes down hard on the cue ball, sinking the 14. But here comes the magic. The insane backspin from the massé shot makes the cue ball, after hitting the 14, pop forward, tap a blocking ball, and then spin backwards like it's on a leash, settling perfectly for the 13 ball. That kind of shot takes a supernatural feel for the table. He didn't just find a shot, he created one from thin air. Shot number 6, the banana shot. Great pool is all about thinking 2, 3, maybe 4 shots ahead. It's a game of chess on felt. But what happens when the board is a complete mess? Here the 6 ball is makeable, but the 7 ball is a nightmare, tucked away and seemingly impossible to get shape on. For most players, that means finding the simplest, safest path for the cue ball, maybe playing a defensive shot. But for Efren the Magician Reyes, it meant inventing an entirely new one, a shot that defied the known laws of physics for most onlookers. He approaches the table, his mind a supercomputer of angles and spin. He sees a path that no one else in the room can even conceive of. He thinly cuts the 6 ball into the pocket, a standard shot on its own. But the magic isn't in pocketing the 6, it's in what he does to the cue ball. He hits it with a massive amount of topspin and just a touch of side English, driving it down into the cloth. This combination of forces is what creates the banana effect. Instead of rolling forward or bouncing off the rail in a predictable line, the cue ball momentarily grips the felt. The intense spin forces it to violently swerve, swinging out in a wide, impossible banana-shaped arc. It's a controlled skid on a microscopic level, and then, as the spin wears off, it curls right back in, as if tethered by an invisible string, landing perfectly in line for the 7 ball. It's not just a shot, it's a statement. Shot number 5, the 2-jaw bank safety. But Efren's genius wasn't just about flamboyant, physics-bending shot-making, it was also about his unparalleled strategic mind, especially in the cerebral game of one pocket. In this discipline, each player has only one pocket they can score in. Here, his opponent has played what looks like a solid defensive move, leaving one of his balls dangerously close to his own pocket. It's bait. If Efren tries to move it, he risks knocking it in for his opponent. So what does Efren do? He ignores the bait and finds a solution that is both incredibly creative and psychologically devastating. He eyes his own object ball and calculates a bank shot, but he's not trying to pocket it. Instead, Reyes intentionally hits the ball with perfect speed to bank across the table and strike the jaw, the very edge of his opponent's pocket. The precision required is mind-boggling. A millimeter to the left, and the ball drops, giving his opponent the point. A millimeter to the right, and it misses the jaw entirely, but Efren hits it perfectly. The ball kisses the point of the jaw, killing its momentum, and dies right in the opening, completely blocking the pocket. He hasn't just saved the game, he's turned his opponent's greatest strength into a prison. Shot number 4, the 4-rail kick shot. In pool, a safety is a defensive shot designed to leave your opponent with no direct shot. Efren's opponent here thought he'd played the perfect safety. The cue ball is completely snookered, totally hidden behind a wall of object balls. For 99.9% of players on Earth, the only option is a gentle hit and hope. But Efren Reyes is in the 0.1%. He sees a highway where others see a brick wall. He visualizes a journey for the cue ball, a grand tour around the entire table. He calculates the angles and the speed needed to send the cue ball off not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 separate rails. He strikes the cue ball with surgical precision. It zips to the first rail, kicks to the second, caroms across to the third, then the fourth. Each kiss of the cushion is perfectly calculated, adjusting the ball's path and shedding just the right amount of speed. After its grand tour, it glides across the table as if on a wire, making perfect gentle contact with the object ball, sending it straight into the heart of the pocket. It's a shot that turns defense into offense and transforms an impossible situation into a moment of pure magic. If you think those shots were incredible, you need to stick around, because what's coming next is on another level entirely. These next 3 shots are the bedrock of Efren Reyes' legend, the moments that transformed him from a world-class player into the magician. To earn a nickname like that in a sport of cold, hard physics and geometry, you have to do more than just win. You have to bend reality. These aren't just great shots, they're masterpieces of imagination, painted on green felt under the most intense pressure imaginable. They are the stories that have become gospel in pool halls around the world. Shot number 3, the L-shot kick. Look at this situation. For any other player on the planet, this is the end of the line. The cue ball is completely buried, hopelessly trapped behind the sharp, unforgiving corner of the side pocket jaw. There is no path to the object ball. A normal kick shot is impossible. A bank doesn't exist. The textbook play here is a soft safety, surrendering the table and hoping for a mistake. But Efren Reyes doesn't read textbooks. He writes them. He sees a path that defies logic, a solution hidden in plain sight. He's not looking at the cushions, he's looking at the pocket jaw itself, not as an obstacle but as a tool. The physics here are mind-boggling. He has to strike the absolute razor's edge of that point. A millimeter to one side, the cue ball scratches. A millimeter to the other, it flies off the table. He needs the perfect speed, the perfect angle, and the perfect amount of spin to control the violent collision. And then, with pure audacity, he shoots. The cue ball rockets directly into the point of the jaw, the one place you're taught to avoid at all costs. Instead of a chaotic explosion, something magical happens. The ball pivots, redirecting all its momentum into a perfect 90-degree turn, as if it just made a left at an intersection. It's a moment of geometric perfection that simply shouldn't be possible. Shot number 2, the money game escape. The stakes for this shot were astronomical. This wasn't a tournament, it was a high-stakes money game, where fortunes and reputations are won and lost on a single shot. And his opponent was none other than the legendary Francisco Bustamante, Efren's friend, rival, and one of the few players who could push him to his absolute limit. Bustamante has played a masterful safety, a textbook lockup that would defeat any other player. The cue ball is totally snookered, hidden behind the 9 ball with no clear path to the 7. Bustamante must have felt he had the game won. But then, Efren begins his famous, deliberate walk around the table. He's calm, unhurried. This isn't panic, it's calculation. He's not just looking for an escape, he's hunting for a way to win, right here, right now. In his mind, he's tracing invisible lines, calculating speeds and spins that defy conventional wisdom. And then, he sees it, a path so audacious it borders on insanity. He plans to send the cue ball on a 2-rail journey around the table, but the true genius is in the contact. He must hit the 7 ball with the delicate touch of a surgeon, kissing it ever so slightly to nudge it towards the corner pocket. The cue ball zips around the cushions, a white blur on a mission. It arrives at its destination with impossible precision, kissing the 7 ball perfectly and sending it trickling into the corner. It was a shot so creative, so bold, that it left a world-class champion like Bustamante shaking his head in disbelief. It wasn't just an escape, it was a statement, it was magic. And now, we arrive at number 1. This isn't just another incredible shot, this is the shot. The one that transcended the sport, becoming a piece of athletic folklore. It's known simply as the Z shot, and for many, it represents the single greatest, most creative and most audacious moment of genius the world of pool has ever witnessed. It's the Mona Lisa of cue sports, painted on green felt in a moment of impossible pressure. The year is 1995. The event is the Camel Color of Money 2 tournament. The final match pits Efren the Magician Reyes against his legendary rival, the fiery and brilliant Earl the Pearl Strickland. The stakes couldn't be higher. The score is locked at 12 in a grueling race to 13. This single game is for all the marbles, the title, the prize money, the glory. It's Strickland's turn, and he plays what seems to be the perfect safety. He tucks the cue ball snugly behind the 7 ball, leaving Efren absolutely, unequivocally dead hooked. The target 5 ball is a world away, and there is no direct path, no window, no prayer. For any other player on Earth, this is a game-ending position, a guaranteed loss of turn, and likely the championship. But this isn't any other player. This is Efren Reyes. As the crowd murmurs and Strickland watches on, confident in his handiwork, Efren remains an island of calm in a sea of tension. He circles the table, his eyes scanning the layout not for problems but for solutions. He's not looking for a way to simply make contact and concede the turn. He's looking for a way to win. And then, he sees it. A pathway so audacious, so outrageously complex, it borders on the absurd. The commentators are baffled, suggesting he might have to try and jump the ball, a low-percentage miracle shot in itself. But Efren has other plans. He's envisioning a two-rail kick shot of unimaginable difficulty. He plans to shoot the cue ball into the side rail, applying just the right amount of side spin, or English. From there it must travel the entire width of the table, kiss the opposite rail at a razor-thin angle, and then, defying all logic, zigzag back across the table to pocket the 5 ball. He chalks his cue, takes his stance, and with a stroke as smooth as silk, he shoots. The room holds its breath. The cue ball strikes the first rail, zips across the felt to the second, and kicks off at the perfect, impossible angle. It carves a Z shape through the table, miraculously weaving through a minefield of Strickland's balls, never touching a single one. Then, with the precision of a surgeon's scalpel, it makes contact with the 5 ball, sending it directly into the corner pocket. The crowd doesn't just cheer, they detonate. It's a sound of pure, unadulterated disbelief, turning into a roar of thunderous applause. But the most telling reaction comes from his opponent. Earl Strickland, a fierce competitor not known for mid-game pleasantries, can only smile, shake his head, and begin to applaud. It's the ultimate gesture of respect from one master to another, an acknowledgement that he has just witnessed history. The shot didn't just win Efren the point, it effectively won him the match, breaking his opponent's spirit with a single stroke of genius. He calmly cleared the remaining balls, securing the tournament victory, but the win almost felt secondary. That one shot, forever christened the Z shot, had already become immortal. From bending physics to his will to seeing pathways invisible to mere mortals, these 7 shots are a testament to Efren's unique gift. They are more than just highlights in a storied career. They are brushstrokes from a master artist. He played a game nobody else was playing, turning a geometric puzzle into a canvas for his imagination. He wasn't just a champion, he was an innovator, a magician, and forever will be a true genius. Which shot blew your mind the most? Let us know in the comments below.